Hello, Walled Lake Central. David Berry here. Former Walled Lake Central principal for 12 years. I got to tell you, it was a great experience, great opportunity for me. I'm so forever indebted to the people that I met and just the high academic standards that Walled Lake Central has exhibited over the years. Some of the greatest career experiences in my 30 years in education. But enough about me. I'm up here in Tequamana area schools in the Upper Peninsula. I absolutely enjoying it. It's quite beautiful and epic beauty in that regard. So we're excited about that. But enough about me. We're here today to talk about Jody Davis and her contributions to our maintenance department. It's my understanding Jody is retiring this year. She had done an incredible job in our maintenance. I know she worked really hard to keep the halls clean and keep things organized. I had the privilege of working with her for 12 years, and Jody and I were really close, and I just really admired her work. Oh, excuse me, I got a text coming in. Oh, it seems it's from Eric Henderson. Ooh, I'm sorry. Apparently she works in our science department. I digress. Let me start over again. I'd like to take this opportunity and recognize Julie Davis for her work in our science department. I know with biology and chemistry that she taught and was significantly impactful to the students in our schools. And as a result, we have high academic standards and accolades because of the work that she had done. Actually, I know she taught physics. And as a side note, I still think she's probably the third best physics teacher that Walled Lake Central has ever had. And to make the top five, I think is just an incredible endeavor, and just she just really needs to be recognized for that. You know, it was interesting when my time there at Walled Lake Central, we did everything we could to get the physics teacher from Walled Lake Northern to come over, and he just wouldn't do it. We couldn't line it up. So we had Jody Davis do our physics, which is fine. You know, when the AP scores came out every year, you know, hey, scores aren't that big of a deal. You know what? It's just a score, you know, whatever. It was really about the relationships that were developed with the students in her classes in physics. And so, you know, we really want to recognize the deep, impactful relationships that Jody Davis had. I have really the utmost respect for Jody Davis. When we hired her, all of her transcripts in her grad program showed A's in physics. It clearly demonstration of her competence and credibility and smartness in the physics program and physics classes. Later did we find out that she actually married her physics professor. So I think really the takeaway then in all of this is if you really want to get A's in your grad program, marry your college professor. But seriously, there's a personal note. I had a cousin who was a high school senior a few years back, and he was having trouble in physics. And so I took it upon Jody Davis to call and say, hey, you're our physics teacher. You teach AP courses, and can you help my cousin solve this problem in physics? So I gave her the problem, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and a couple hours back, she called and she said, I got nothing for you. I don't even understand it myself. And really, if we fast forward 8 years later, my cousin would like to take this opportunity and thank you for the support and nurturing that you've given him in physics and the science and math areas. As a result, he's enrolled in Harvard Law School for this fall, and he wouldn't be where he is without the academic support that you've given him. So on a personal note, I certainly want to thank you for that opportunity. As we look, it's my understanding you're retiring this year. I also had the opportunity to teach one of Jody's daughters in her grad program when I was a professor at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. And there was a couple of things that struck me that seems odd. One, this was a young lady who was very articulate, very well spoken, and just really had a sense and groundedness in who she was. And I think what's important that we didn't have any DNA testing back then, but with 23andMe now, I really think it probably be wise to do a DNA test, because there's a disconnect between Jody and her daughter, and if there's a biological connection or not. I'm not sure on that, but I think that would be important. As we wrap up here, I know it's just a great opportunity for her to retire. I think it's what seemed like maybe 40 years, her teaching there, and just time flies with that. And as we wrap up, I think there's a couple of takeaways on that. I admire Walled Lake Central. I think they've made some significant improvement as their continued pursuit of getting better. And it was really two pinnacle moments. One, when I left them a few years back, I think that was certainly an upgrade to where they're at. And number two, with Jody Davis retiring in the science department. Again, I think you just have some significant accolades to look forward to. Thank you again, and take care.